Okay. It's taking me like 9 times to try to stream this correctly, but I think we've got this. If you haven't played this game before, this is probably not the best introduction. How do I spell Conqueror? Oh shoot. The internet's gonna know I'm stupid. I feel like that's almost correct, and I'm just gonna accept it. Now, no, we're not doing that. We're gonna skip the prologue, sort of. I mean, we're obviously gonna have to make the choices regarding it. Then this playthrough, I'm going like full-on evil, dictator, no reforms, super villain type thing. Wait, where am I? Wrong country, sorry. Skip prologue. We're gonna go with this guy because I think he has the least impact. I don't know what the difference is here, but I'm gonna say Zile just to make myself more of a man of the people. Because I'm gonna be very much against them, I need some level of collaboration from them. I went for the military, yeah. Cut down on traitors, kidnap by, yeah. Fight. Reign as Duke, punish traitors. Duties over love. Diversify or nationalism. Yeah, we're bad guys, just... Okay. It worked instead of taking the family boat trip. Found solace in religion. I'm going to go with energy production, weirdly enough, because I think that makes me more self-sustainable. Insist on reunification. Good relationships with my dad. Good relationship with my dad. Alright, this is almost a guide, but I'm improvising it as I go. It's not really something I expect to work. Well, no, I do expect it to work. I think that playing as the bad guy in this game is a lot harder than playing as like a good guy, diversity, peace between countries. It's so much effort to get into the war and win it, in my opinion, compared to getting on different countries' good sides. And achieving some form of peace. Actually, thin glasses, yeah. I don't know why, but I have an obsession to make it so whenever I play this game, he doesn't actually look like a king. We're gonna go for absolutionism. We're gonna diversify mostly because we're almost at max energy, so we might as well push towards that. Mixed approach might actually be a good idea here, though. We're gonna go with diversify away. Yeah. We're going with interventionism. And I'm going to say the Rizian Air Force is personally the best, in my opinion. Because it's got the most varied utility. This is obviously not a whole lot. We can get mountain men or mountaineers pretty easily, and they're really good, so don't worry too much about that. To most Rizians, this was the grandest room in the grandest... Right, I'm not gonna read through most of this. How are you... Yeah, listen, I'm sorry for the entire female half of the race. I'm about to butcher not even butcher. I'm gonna butcher a lot of names because a lot of this, I think this game is made either inspired by Greece, just made by people living near Greece or something. There's a lot of particular European sounding names. Some of them I believe are Greek specifically, like Petter in the main game. I'm gonna butcher these names and I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude. Just telling you in advance. And for female voices, I don't really do too good, as you will see. How are you feeling, Father? We're gonna have to be nice to her at very least right now. Because I'm pretty sure we're gonna screw our daughter over because she's gonna very much disapprove of our political beliefs. Ready for the next chapter, my dear child. Ready for the next chapter. My daughter smiled. Me too. I wish Mother was the one sitting here, though. Yeah, said the oath. I hereby pledge myself in service to the great nation of Rizia and its people. I promise to guide my country with a steadfast hand, to uphold the laws of this land under Saint Ruick's watchful eye. I have no idea how to pronounce that. That's just how I assume it's pronounced. Ruick. To wield the sword of justice and shield the mercy in equal measures. All this I shall do until the day I die. Take the orb. Get the crown. Stella. May Saint Warwick fill you with the Holy Spirit on this day, as he did your ancestors before you. May you keep the promises you have made before God and your people. By the I'm not a voice actor, in case you guys couldn't tell. By the okay. By the divine powers vested in me, I proclaim that. Why am I having trouble? I'm trying to do my Sal Ignacius voice. Nauseous? Not Ignacius? I don't know. By the divine power vested in me, I proclaim you sovereign King of Rizia. Arise, King Romus. Proceed with the coronation. Convena, let's greet your future subjects. Alright. It's gonna be a bit hard. Coordination wise, I think it might sound bad to invest a lot into this when there's so much disbenefit from losing that budget. But I can make this back, especially with our energy reserves. And I kind of need to because I need the people to like me. Alright, morning of my coronation, I was woken up by a knock. Yes? What? Yes? This is how I imagine he speaks. I just go with it. The door swung open, it's Pavel coming in. Hey, buddy. Rise and shine, your majesty. It's good to see you, Pavel. No, hold on. It is good to see you, Pavel. You too. Drew back the heavy curtain, sunshine flooded the room. Romus Taurus, King of Rizia. You've come a long way since we were kids. So have you, Mr. Chief Butler. Not bad for the groundskeeper's son. Of course, it helped to have the friends in high places. He looked me in the eyes. Forgive me if I'm overstepping, but how are you doing? Losing your father must have been hard on you. It's complicated. I don't know what I should be feeling right now. There's no should. You feel what you feel. He opened the doors of my armoire and began pulling out items of clothing. You have quite the packed schedule this morning. Why don't you eat breakfast with the girls while I get your outfit ready? That sounds great. Queen Mother Estella and Princess Vina must be waiting already. You should get a move on. Don't worry, Your Majesty. I'll make sure you're the best dressed king in Rizian history. Even more fashionable than King Darius the Dapanois? He grinned. I'll do my best. I've forgotten. Bimar valo on oxide solo. It's the slogan the two made when they were kids. Two tides rise, one sets. Thanks, Pavel. Let's catch up later. Enjoy your breakfast. I feel kind of terrible because I'm being nice to people knowing that I intend to, like, be a horrible dick. Really? That's all you're eating? No. You're supposed to rise when the king enters the room. Oh boy. This is gonna be really hard. I gave birth to you, darling. I've earned the right to stay seated. In my head, she has like old lady smoker voice, and I don't know how I can do that. It's gonna be entertaining, I hope. Hope you're satisfied with yesterday's coronation. Your father wasn't nearly as well attended. Hold on, let me try this. I hope you're satisfied with yesterday's coronation. Your father wasn't nearly half as well attended. What can I say? My people love me. What can I say? My people love me. They love to be seen on television. You, they're not so sure about. Her eyes grew serious. What did he say before you died, by the way? I never asked. He said not to make the same mistakes. Yeah, that's just the truth. No, actually, I'm going to go with the nationalist approach. He told me to take back the lands that were lost. Yeah, zillion pails, I suppose. He never did give up on the Grand Duchy. It's a pity he didn't live to preside over my homeland's big return to Rizia, but soon you will, boy. Zilly will be ours. Okay. Zilly will be ours again, and so will Palais. Sorry, it's pronounced Palais, but I never cared much about Palais. But I don't have to tell you how much Zilly means to me. But don't let my nattering keep you from meeting. The king needs energy. She handed me a Rosetta, the traditional rice and quince custard tart. The crust was exceptionally flaky. Just then Vina came bounding down the stairs. Isn't it a lovely morning? My daughter kissed mother on the cheek and then gave me a shy wave. I nearly got lost on the way here. Grandma, why didn't you tell me this place had such a big library? Because I didn't want you holed up in there all the time. Grandma's gotta see her grandmother every... Her grandmother's gotta see her granddaughter every so often, you know. Vina eagerly took a plate and started piling it with pastries. My mother clicked her tongue disapprovingly. Not too many of those. The sweeter the taste, the wider the waist. Don't you agree, Sonny? It's a special occasion. It's a special occasion. Our diet can start tomorrow. Vina took a bite of Rosetta and gave an exaggerated sigh of pleasure. My mother rolled her eyes. Suit yourself, honey buns. Now, if anyone in this place could make a halfway decent strudel, that would be worth ruining one's figure for. We ate for a while in silence. Vina looked lost in thought. Finally, she spoke up. Father, I wanted to ask you something. You know that I'm 18 now. Yes, it's time to start taking on more responsibilities. This is the answer she wants. Yes, it's time you started taking on more responsibilities. Exactly. Exactly. I was thinking I'm old enough to accompany you to your council meetings. It's unusual for a female heir to join the council, I know. But didn't you do the same when you were my age? Well, 18 is old enough to get involved in royal politics. Actually, we'll go with the actual answer. No, learning how to fight for my country was far more important to me. Well, this is what's important to me. Liza the Great is a huge legacy to live up to, after all. You shouldn't have to worry about living up to anyone. You shouldn't have to worry about living up to anyone's legacy. You're great in your own right. That's very kind of you, Father. But Liza was the most beloved queen in our history. Of course people will compare me to her. You're getting ahead of yourself, sweetheart. The crown is on your father's head right now, not yours. She looked at me sharply. And what your father needs is for your lovely little face to be seen at balls and ribbon-cutting ceremonies, not hidden behind council doors. This is the best in between. It's true that you'll learn more about how the world works by being out in it, not by shadowing me. Well, I can go deeper. It is true you'll learn more about how the world works by being out in it, not by shadowing me. Going to balls won't teach me how decrees are made, or how to negotiate with foreign leaders. Only time served on the council will do that. You want to spend the best years of your life all cooped up in a den of snakes? The council isn't some wise, all-knowing entity. Everyone on it is looking after their own house and their own stature. And God help you if you get in the way of either of those. Now the wisdom, I have always found it odd of interest. My counselors represent many decades of experience. I would not discount their wisdom, Mother. Their wisdom turned power into a bloodbath in an uprising. They almost got you killed. I don't know if uprising was the council's fault. From what I've read, there were many factors. And besides, if choosing when to ignore the council will be part of my future duties, I need to learn how to do that too. I promise, it'll be like I'm not even there. And I'll step out in public as much as I can. Vina looked at me with pleading eyes. Alright, Vina. You can come to the meetings. My daughter's face lit up. Thank you. I can't wait to start. Oh, I'd better freshen myself on Rizian law. You do realize that she'll be nothing but a liability to you in that room. She's the heir apparent. It'll be a good education for her. I hope you're right. Clock struck 9:15. My first council meeting was starting soon. I excused myself from the table as I was leaving the dining room. My mother cleared her throat. He always believed you make a good king, you know, even if you didn't always show it. I won't just be good. I'll be the best. Alright. Alright. Hurry up, Father. It's not very kingly of you to be late. A true king is never late. It's the others who are early. Alright. Hello, Hugo. Welcome, Your Majesty. Welcome, Your... Oh, it's gonna be really hard to do his voice. Welcome, Your Majesty. Embrace him. You'll meet everyone else soon enough, but I thought a private chat with your Grand Vizier would be in order first. Although it seems it won't be as private as I was expecting. Are you staying, Princess Vina? Yes, Uncle Hugo. I'm sitting in on the Grand King's Council meetings. She's going to learn by experience. I wish I had done the same. Hugo frowned as he processed the new information, then broke into a smile. By all means, Your Majesty. Your Highness? Oh, sorry. By all means, then. Your Highness, have a seat. I can't really do the voice that Hugo has in my head, so maybe I should just go for more, sinister Disney villain effect. By all means, then, Your Highness, have a seat. How is your son? How is your son? Smiled fondly. Rico's still the Hellraiser we both know and love. But governing Iza has installed a real sense of responsibility in him. I hope you can make it out for a visit. Okay, that's weirdly phrased, but I hope you can make it out for a visit soon. Both of you. My dear brother, I do miss him, but I dare say it's time we had some fresh blood on the throne. As Valero never got a chance to fill you in on his royal duties before he passed, I prepared you an overview for you. Would you like to hear it? I'm already up to speed, but I'm sure Vina would appreciate it. Good thinking. This will apply to her too. Someday. As the king, you're both Rizia's head of state and commander of its armed forces, as well as the de jure governor of Rizia Imperium, Valkyries, and the Pere Administrative District, and the island of Calicabis. Yep, I got nothing there. You alone have the power to shape this country by passing royal decrees. As is tradition over hundreds of years, each new ruler has passed the sovereign transition and clemency decree to start their reign. The kingdom will be expecting your decree very soon. I would never go against tradition. I would never go against the traditions of Rizia. I will sign the decree as soon as possible. Very good. Upholding tradition is key to the stability of our monarchy and the continued loyalty of our people. Alright. Oh, no, don't sneeze. Okay, we're good. I and the rest of the Royal Council will advise you to the best of your ability, and put forth decrees and state decisions for your approval. Ultimately, the king has the final say. However, you should not neglect the House of Delegates, the legislative assembly my brother set up to appease the However, you should not neglect the House of Delegates, the legislative assembly my brother set up to appease the opposition after the uprising. Yes, that was one of his better moves. I thought so as well. It gave Rizia the appearance of a constitutional democracy while keeping power firmly in the king's hands. His Majesty Valero presided over the last elections in 1949. The Rizian National Coalition secured a House majority as always. It proposed decrees and issues official approvals or disapprovals of the laws passed by you and the Council. As Grand Vizier, it's traditional for me to attend their sessions and pass any relevant information on to you. Thanks for that. Thank you for that. Your Grace. I will be counting on you. I'm still debating on how to do these voices. I haven't done a lot of this before. Of course, Your Majesty. With that said, I would advise you to take the delegate's input into account. No good can come of ignoring the will of the people. Thank you for letting me know. I'll be sure to listen to them going forward. I'm here to serve, Your Majesty. Fortunately, the delegate speaker, Daria de Reva, is a Taurus loyalist, through and through. She should give you no trouble. The opposition is small, but worth keeping an eye on, especially the new leader, Suzerain. The traitor's son? Exactly. As you know, Duke Lucas Suzerain was executed for his role in your kidnapping and the 1926 uprising, while his wife Angelica was sent into exile on Caracabiz. I'm really sorry how bad I'm pronouncing these. While she remains under strict orders not to leave the island, no such restrictions were placed on the son she gave birth to shortly after her arrival. He opened a folder and took out a picture of a clean-cut young man. Vina leaned forward to peer at it. She sims to him. No, seriously, like that's the... You probably have played this game if you were watching this. Upon finishing his studies in Kairut, Manus returned to the mainland and proceeded to win the largest supporter base of any opposition leader we've seen thus far. His promises to give a voice to the common man seem to be resonating with the populace. Part of it, at least. You're right to be wary of him. We've got to keep him in our sights. We will. While I'm on the subject, a word about our houses. Our family currently controls the province of Valenquires, as well as the city-state of Iza. Has Rico been well received? Iza has been difficult since the Suzerain rebellion, even more so since the Wizak population there exploded. Any efforts to restore the rights and privileges of native Rizians is met with resistance. The students at Iza University are leading the charge, I believe. Considering the circumstances, I believe my son is doing just fine. I'll find a way to help him. That would be most kind of you. Right, got it, that's all. As for the other houses, House Suzerain, aside from Iza, which is now under Rico's governance, all of the Bernese is still in their territory. The nobles there swore fealty to the crown in exchange for keeping hold of their cities and their estates. But the return of Angelica's boy could test that loyalty. He is their rightful duke, after all, even if he does not admit it. He lost that title when his father orchestrated my kidnapping. Well, he lost that title when his father orchestrated my kidnapping. Lucas was a rogue agent, or so the rest of the house claims. As for Angelica herself, she remains in exile, as she should. If Angelica is in exile and Manus has not laid claim to the duke position, who's officially in charge of the Bernese now? A lesser relation by the name of Leona. She reigns from Salabels. Oh yeah. But it is Manus and Angelica that the rest of the Suzains take their cues from. Lest we forget, Willin is scheduled to return Zelia to Rizia next year. The Sassans expect the region to become part of their province, as it was before the uprising. It's very presumptuous of them. The power balance between the houses is fragile enough, adding much land to Brunas would upset it. I can use it as a bargaining chip. Stay loyal to the crown, or no Zelia for House Suzerain. Now you're thinking like a king. And finally, House Azaro. Ah yes, the rulers of Cades Monteclair, and the stewards of the Rizian military. You must be aware of their patriarch Tedius's poor health. The general suffered a stroke just prior to King Valero's death. Yes, I was saddened to hear. He taught me everything I know. His daughter Lucida, the Duchess of Monteclair, was selected to take his place as War and Security Council. You'll meet her later today. You should also know that factions within her province have begun calling for the return of Palais again. I won't let House Azaro down. I'll finish what the general started. Be careful. We all know the last campaign against the Grand Duchy ended. We all know how the last campaign against the Grand Duchy ended. Well, I hope that was helpful. I think we're almost done here, unless there's anything else to bring up. I'm not going to mention it, but yeah, that's my plan at the end there. No, that will be all. Very good. One more thing. As you're aware, a few years before your father's death, he reinstated the Golden Guard. Yes, right, the royal family's personal security force. And where are they now? Ah, fuck. He's gonna have an even deeper voice. Yes, sir. Ready and able. Meet Titus Gordian, captain of the Golden Guard. He and his men have been keeping a close watch on you since the coronation. I'm pleased to meet you, Captain Gordian. Call me Titus, sir. Titus and the members of his 2,000-strong brigade have been trained in the upper echelons of Rizia's military and police academies. Each has sworn an oath to protect the king and his family at all costs. Great. Looking forward to working with them. It is an honor. It is an honor, Your Majesty. I'll just have to, somewhat opera him. He bowed to V now. She looked a little flustered. But didn't Queen Liza discontinue the Golden Guard? Because she thought they made royals look elitist, and because... She trailed off. Because she thought they were getting too powerful. That's why our current force is less than a fifth of the size it once was. Your father always had a fondness for Rizian tradition, so he spared no expense in bringing back the Golden Guard. Your father always had a fondness for Rizian tradition, so he spared no expense in bringing the guard back, albeit in a reduced form. It humbles me to be worthy of such an elite unit's protection. The humility is all mine, sir. Thank you, Titus. Titus. Okay, how do I pronounce? I don't want to be rude, especially if that's a real name. I'm not trying to. In my head, it's always kind of been, but saying it out loud, I realize what's wrong with just calling him that. So I'm going to assume it's Titus. Thank you, Titus. I'm a dick. My real name, by the way, is very embarrassing. I'm not gonna show people it ever. But it's not exactly a proud one. Thank you, Titus. You may wait. Thank you, Titus. You may wait outside the chambers until the meeting's conclusion. Titus nodded and swiftly left the room. Noon already. Shall we and the young Harris break for a glass of wine before the council convenes this afternoon? Gladly. We still have much to catch up on. I think your father kept a store of vintage Cantuavo in those cabinets. Thank you for the invitation, Uncle Hugo. What an intelligent and well-mannered young woman you have grown to be, Your Highness. I know how overwhelming the capital can seem compared to Marquise. If you ever have questions, don't be afraid to come to me. That's very kind of you, Uncle Hugo. I need to be on everyone's good side. Listen to your uncle, Vina. He knows how everything works around here. What is my role as Grand Vizier, if not to advise the royal family? Yep. Oh, we don't need to bother with that yet. Alright, somebody's here who's not supposed to be. But he kind of is allowed to be. Duke Suzerain, I presume. I have no land, Your Majesty, but you may use the title if you wish. It's good to see you here in Port-Jason. He tugged his suit lapel. I just had a good voice for him. What did I do? I hold no land, Your Majesty, but you may use the title if you wish. I wanted to introduce myself before our first official meeting. I may be the leader of the opposition, but I'm not your enemy. If you and I established a dialogue, I believe we can work wonders for this country. How lovely of you to say that. I'm Vina Torres, by the way. I know. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. I wish we could stay and talk, but the princess and I must be going. Until next time. I look forward to it, Your Majesty, Your Highness. He's friendlier than I expect. Okay. He seems nice. He's friendlier than I expected. I could imagine working together. No, we're not. I just need to say that so that way Vina likes me more. I don't even know if it affects anything. Oh. I mean, Lucida Azaro. Gentlemen, pardon my... Oh, fuck. That's two girl voices. Okay, let me get some water real quick. Gentlemen, pardon my interruption. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Gentlemen, pardon my interruption. She bowed towards me. Please accept House Azaro's formal congratulations on your coronation, Your Majesty. Okay, I might give her like a very slight, not German accent, but like that slight, like a German who speaks really good English with like that slight fluctuation. I think it's not because she's blonde white and she's kind of a fascist, but that's not the point. It's not because of that. but because it kind of just visually, okay, it might be because of that in my subconscious. I'm just gonna go with it. Hugo, Your Grace, your shirt's buttoned wrong. My uncle looked chastised. Oh, hello, Princess Vina, Your Majesty. May I ask what your daughter is doing here? She's here to receive the tutelage from the best minds this kingdom has to offer, yours included. She's here to receive tutelage from the best minds this kingdom has to offer, yours included. I'm flattered. Please don't mind me, Duchess Azaro. I'm only here as an observer. The king and his direct successor spending so much time in the same room. I hope the Golden Guard knows what's at stake in keeping these chambers secure. Why am I flipping out so much? My father always spoke highly of you, Your Majesty. I wish he was the one greeting you today. He sends his regards, or he would if he were capable of speaking full sentences. I know the general. He's got some fight left in him. Well, I know the general. He has got some fight left in him. The others should be right behind me. For God's sake, Doranto, you don't need to hold the door open for me every single time. I'm not as fragile as I look. I'm trying to give her like a sweet old lady voice. Like not even like my own mom's sweet old lady voice that is really just a chain-smoking southerner. Chain-smoking? What am I talking about? I don't even know what I'm saying here. I know what chain-smoking is, but that's also... I was not a very good smoker voice when I did it. For God's sake, Lorenzo, you don't need to hold the door open for me every single time. I'm not as fragile as you look. I kept telling you. How could I allow us to close on? I keep telling you. How could I allow a door to close on such a gorgeous face? Your Majesty, it is a pleasure and an honor to serve on your council. I don't know what accent I'm giving him, but like, we're going with it. Yes, welcome, Your Majesty. If you're half the young man your father made you out to be, you'll make a fine king. No need for flattery. No need for flattery. With your years of experience, I'm the one who should be bowing down to you both. That's far too kind, Your Majesty. That's far too kind, Your Majesty, but I hope old-timers can be of some assistance to you. I'm pleased to see the young Harris here as well. What voice am I going for with any of these people? Just double down on the sweet old lady thing. Okay. I'm pleased to see the young Harris as... No, okay, I have a voice in my head, and I cannot say it out loud. I don't have the vocal capacity. I'm pleased to see the young Harris here as well. A new Liza the Great in the making? I wouldn't go that far, but I do hope you'll tell me about your time in Queen Liza's court one day. I'd love to. There are just a few updates I've got to share with your father first. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for joining us. I'm pleased to have the entire council here for the first meeting. Well, not the entire council. The Grand Wise Man is in Plavo, preparing for the upcoming religious ceremony with His Majesty. But he needed to involve himself in earthly concerns like your royal treasury. Smiled to himself, then gestured to Alina. No, indeed, that's for me to worry about. No, indeed, that's... I'm thinking of a very specific, like, slightly like this, almost, but like, less whatever this is. Like that choky, of it, but without the "What's up, my girlfriends?" Like an old lady. There's at least like one lady on Downton Abbey who talks like how she talks in my head. Surely His Majesty already has some awareness regarding the state of Rizia's economy and resources. Yes, but I'm sure my daughter... Okay, I want to say 4, and I wish the game would let me say 4, because I actually don't need to read up on this, but it probably isn't going to actually let me do that. Yes, but I'm sure my daughter would appreciate the... Yes, but I am sure my daughter would appreciate a refresher course. Certainly. Until the 1940s, Rizia was historically one of the wealthiest countries in South Makopa, but His Majesty the late King Valero bequeathed us a number of challenges in that department. Where should I start? It's healthy, Your Majesty. Since we began training with Ruberg, we've been running a surplus. It's not as high as it used to be, but I think we should put it to work. All glory to the late King Valero, but he had certain prudence about spending government funds, even when it might have made Rizia richer today. Now new gold mines are scarce, our resources nearly depleted, and the kingdom's burdens have grown over the past decade. Nonetheless, it's great to know we're not going broke. With that said, our budget will need more padding if we want to complete this. With that said, our budget will need more padding if we want to complete the slate of military modernization measures I have in mind. With all due respect, Duchess Azaro, I'm not sure the military is the king's #1 focus. I'm gonna try to get on Alina's good side here. No, it isn't. If we... Very good thinking, Your Majesty. Oh, I actually should say the thing. No, it isn't. If we invest our surplus in Rizian industries, we'll get back what we spent triple-fold. Very good thinking, Your Majesty. Ultimately, shouldn't the money be spent on the Rizian people? Think of the advances we were able to make during the Liza era due to the Queen's investments in citizens' welfare. You'll recall her famous quote, "True prosperity is not defined by the amount of gold in our coffers, but the health and happiness of each soul within our borders." I'll go with more pragmatically. A happy, well-fed populace is one that does not rise up against its leaders. I will point out that Rizia's wealth and my mother's judicious handling of it was one of the factors that allowed us to survive the century of revolutions. However, those were different times. As a modern nation in an era of increasing superpower influence, we are expected to have a certain standard of military. And there's the fact that we're sandwiched. And there's the fact that we are sandwiched between the highly contentious regions of Zire and Pere. Precisely, Your Majesty. We've got to be prepared for the worst case scenario, even if it doesn't happen. Your enthusiasm is heartening, Duchess Azaro. I'm sure you'll have much more advice to share during your own briefing. Any further questions, Your Majesty? Fuck, there's so many of these. What's been happening with our gold industry? Though, Your Majesty, gold is still the backbone of the Rizian economy. Though production has declined as our reserves have begun to exhaust themselves. We have a number of active mines within the country operated by Rizian Royal Gold Corporation. She and Hugo exchange glances. And unfortunately, we cannot talk about Rizian Royal Gold without talking about its CEO. We had better get this discussion over with. For better or worse, our country's gold stores rely on Russello Montoro. Russello? Yes, Russello Montoro. Mr. Montoro, Rusty, currently owns 70% of Rizian Royal Gold. Still cannot believe it. Yeah, that's fine, babe. As much as I respect Rusty, I believe we royals should be in charge of our own gold mines. And that will be difficult, Your Majesty. Rusty's first move after taking over the company was to sue your father's government for loss of revenues connected to the Zilli handover. After a very lengthy back and forth, it was agreed that Kingdom's share in RRG would be decreased from 45 to 30%. I will not tolerate this. I want Rizia's original stake back. Currently in favor of Rusty, and it should be possible, but any more than 45% will be difficult. The patent for RRG's prosperity mining technology was filed in Venturi City, Arcadia, and most of his financial assets are kept in Kairut. In other words, attempting to nationalize the company without Mr. Montoro's express approval would strip it of its value. While RRG controls mining within Rizia, the royal government is a direct stakeholder in the Meftim International Trade Zone. The double blow of losing our mines in Zilli and 15% of our RRG stake has made us quite reliant on the gold from MITZ, or MITZ. It was established shortly after you joined the Royal Council, was it not, Alina? Well, it was established shortly after you joined the Royal Council, was it not, Alina? I had the negotiations between you, Rizia, Vagasland, Lesbia, and Morello took over a year. I don't know why he's like vaguely Russian and French both at once, but that's what he is. Can't we increase our mining efforts within Rizia to make up for that loss? We can try. There are a number of promising sites yet to be explored. We would just need to commission a survey to find them, keeping in mind any mining sites near noble-owned estates might lead to a devaluation of those properties. When we get Zile back, will we get the gold back? No, I get the picture. Let's move on to other subjects. This is not hard. It's just reading. Let's talk about our energy It's the switching voices that's really getting me. Let's talk about our energy holdings. Elena rubbed her hands together. Very gladly, Your Majesty. I know this is your area of expertise, but there have been a few new developments. Though our state and energy company is called Rizian Oil and Gas, production of the former has slowed over the years and is threatening to come to a complete halt. The latter, however, shows immense potential. Our most productive gas field is Esquires, off the coast of Topaz. Assuming enough money is invested into its expansion, we can expect to fuel our kingdom for years to come. Or we can spend our budget elsewhere as we wait for access to the new field south of Quebec. Careful, Mrs. Warner. One shouldn't count one's pheasants before they've been bagged. The south of Calicabiz. Wouldn't that put the field close to Palais? Oh, God, what voice? Exactly, Your Majesty. Mr. Warner, tell him. Well, we're still in the extremely early stages, but we may have at least part of a claim to a substantial reserve of natural gas between the port of Palais and the Rizian island of Calicabiz. Maybe it's Calicabiz. I'm gonna say Calicabiz because that sounds smoother. We should proceed carefully with this. We don't want a gas dispute on our hands. Wise words, Your Majesty. Our researchers have been investigating the field's size and borders. Once those are known, it will be easy to determine ownership. Of course, we are liaising extremely closely with Palais to avoid a misunderstanding. As we should. Nobody wants a repeat of the last conflict. If it does come down to that, God forbid, Rizia will win. Now with our military in its current state, as much as my family's clamoring for a repeat of the Palais campaign, I think it's best to ignore them. I don't know why we're even discussing a military response. We'll surely be able to reach a compromise using proper... I don't know why we're even discussing a military response. We'll surely be able to reach a compromise using proper diplomacy. Don't interrupt my counselors, Vina. You will speak only when spoken to. Sorry, Father. I got overexcited. We should save this just... No, God, it's so many people, and I'm not good at this. We should save the discussion for if and when we know more about the gas field in question. For now, are there any other questions? That's all the information I need for now. Perfect, Your Majesty. Letting a glance down at her notes, her expression contemplative. I'd like to discuss several economic considerations. We should anticipate potential expenses rising from our impending fiscal policies. Please elaborate. The first point to consider is industrial growth. I am all for expanding the production and construction, but we should make sure we have the energy to keep our facilities humming. Secondly, there's the matter of living standards. Improving the quality of life for our citizens naturally leads to higher administrative expenses. Thirdly, if you do decide to listen to Duchess Azaro and expand our defense capabilities, keep in mind that the cost of upkeep for our armed forces will rise accordingly. Lastly, energy management poses its own challenges. As we will reach the limits of our grid's capacity, we may incur additional storage costs. This information is invaluable, Elena. I appreciate your insights. Frankly, I'm glad you're taking such an interest in our financials. Between myself and the House of Delegates, we were barely able to keep everything running smoothly in the absence of a clear guidance from your father. But with a king of your caliber at the helm, there's no telling how high we can soar. Your hard work during my father's decline is to be commended. Thank you. It was indeed quite the stressful time for everyone. I think that's enough for today, but we will have to come to a decision regarding our resources. Gold and energy exports have gotten us to where we are today. But if we were to stay relevant and protect our economy from global fluctuations, we need to diversify. I suspect you agree? I'll let you think about it, Your Majesty. Thank you, Mrs. Warner. This was indeed enlightening.
A pleasure to finally share these chambers with you, King Romas. Yes, I'm looking forward to your upcoming security briefing. And congratulations on surviving your first council meeting, Your Highness. I found it fascinating, Your Grace.
No. That's a lot of money we kind of need. Upping my authority is gonna sort of pan out. Because it's mostly about getting a good relationship with my people. Okay, I'm actually gonna take a break right now because I'm having trouble trying to do all these voices that I don't really have a lot of experience with. Yeah, autosaves. So with that, I'm gonna say thank you all for watching. Nobody's actually watching. I don't know who I'm talking to. I'm just going delusional. But say if somebody were to hypothetically look at this, VOD. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. No, stop.